Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. I'm your news anchor today. In a rapidly escalating region, tensions are running high as war drums beat louder in Ukraine, Iran, and beyond. A major development in Ukraine sees President Zelenskyy sign an agreement with Azerbaijan, while death tolls from Russian attacks continue to rise. Meanwhile, in Pakistan, diplomatic efforts between the US and Iran have hit a roadblock. We'll bring you all the latest updates on these developing stories and explore what this means for global geopolitics. Let's dive into our briefing. Good evening. I'm your name, and we're bringing you live updates on the escalating conflict in Ukraine as a new diplomatic move takes shape. Here's a script for a segment summarizing the news. Ukraine and Azerbaijan have signed agreements on military-industrial cooperation and energy security, as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy seeks to leverage its expertise in defending its airspace from Russian attacks. The deals were signed during a two-day visit by Zelenskyy to Baku, where he met with Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev. According to Aliyev, the agreements have wide-ranging perspectives and will facilitate joint defense production between the two countries. However, details of the specific deals have not been disclosed. The move comes as Ukraine seeks to expand its influence in the region and gain new allies against Russia's aggression. The country has already gained recognition from several nations for its experience in defending its airspace from Russian attacks, particularly with regards to Iran's long-range drones. This development matters because it shows Ukraine is actively seeking to strengthen its alliances and secure its borders. It also highlights the ongoing efforts of Kyiv to reinvigorate peace talks with Russia. Zelenskyy has expressed a willingness to engage in diplomacy, but his comments were met with skepticism by some analysts who say Ukraine's position on Russia remains weak. Meanwhile, Russian attacks continue to plague eastern Ukraine. 10 people have been killed and 49 injured in the city of Dnipro, which has been repeatedly targeted in the conflict. The situation is further exacerbated by the ongoing presence of Iranian drones in Ukrainian airspace, which Russia claims are a threat to its national security. As tensions escalate in the Middle East, Iran's government is taking a hardline stance on negotiations amid ongoing military conflict and international pressure. Good evening. I'm your name, and this is the news recap. U.S. President Donald Trump has canceled a planned trip by his envoys to Iran in response to what he described as unacceptable behavior by Iranian officials. The cancellation comes after Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif traveled to Pakistan to present a framework for an end to the war between the two countries, which began in October. According to reports, Zarif met with Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan and other officials to discuss a potential ceasefire, but his efforts were rebuffed by the U.S. Trump took to Twitter to express his disappointment, stating that nothing was offered by Iran that he considered satisfactory. The Iranian Foreign Ministry has rejected Trump's claims, saying that Zarif presented a legitimate proposal for peace talks with no preconditions. The ministry also denied that Zarif had been given permission by Pakistan to discuss the issue without first consulting Tehran. This latest development in the conflict raises concerns about the prospects for a negotiated end to the war. With tensions between the U.S. and Iran at an all-time high, any chance of a peaceful resolution seems increasingly remote. Trump's decision to cancel his trip is seen as a further escalation of the conflict, and it remains to be seen how the situation will unfold in the coming days. The United States has been imposing strict sanctions on Iran over its nuclear program, with Tehran arguing that these measures are an attempt to strangle the country's economy. The conflict between the two countries has resulted in significant loss of life and economic disruption, making a peaceful resolution all the more urgent. As tensions with Iran continue to escalate, Southeast Asian nations are increasingly turning to alternative partners and questioning their long-standing ties to the U.S. A recent escalation in tensions between Iran and the U.S. has brought Southeast Asia closer to its own path, as countries reassess their defense dependence on Washington. The ongoing conflict, which began with a U.S. drone strike killing top Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, has left many nations watching with growing unease. The situation is particularly complex due to Indonesia's strategic location and the Strait of Malacca, a crucial shipping lane. In recent weeks, there have been apparent rifts between the Indonesian defense and foreign ministries over granting the U.S. overflight rights above the strait. This has led to a hold on access for U.S. military aircraft, signaling a growing distrust in Washington. The situation is not unique to Indonesia, as other Southeast Asian countries are taking steps to reduce their reliance on the U.S. The recent defense agreement between the U.S. and Indonesia, while touted as a major breakthrough, was met with skepticism by some, who saw it as an attempt to reassert U.S. dominance in the region. The implications of this trend are significant. For decades, the U.S. has played a leading role in regional security through its membership in ASEAN multilateralism. However, successive administrations have struggled to maintain consistency and credibility, with periods of drift followed by renewed engagement. The current situation suggests that Washington's influence is waning, at least for now. As a result, Southeast Asian nations are quietly reorienting their foreign policies to better serve their own interests. This shift could have far-reaching consequences for regional stability and global politics. As tensions escalate between the U.S. and Iran, President Trump has shifted the focus to the Iranian government's response to heightened tensions in the region. In a move that further strains relations between Iran and the United States, President Donald Trump has put the onus of negotiating a nuclear deal back on Tehran's authorities. Following failed talks in Pakistan earlier this month, Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi met with senior Pakistani officials but left without the U.S. delegation, which was led by envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. The White House had announced that Iran had requested a second round of direct negotiations, but Trump canceled the trip, stating that the U.S. has all the cards, while Iran's leadership is divided. The U.S. president claimed to see infighting and confusion among Iran's leadership, saying if they want to talk, all they have to do is call. Iranian authorities are pushing back against these claims of infighting, releasing synchronized messages through state media and other channels emphasizing unity and obedience to Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. These messages have been circulating for nearly 2 months, since a near-total internet shutdown was imposed in Iran. The situation has significant implications for regional stability and the global nuclear non-proliferation agenda. The deal negotiated by former U.S. President Barack Obama in 2015 is still in place, but Trump's withdrawal from it has left the future of the agreement uncertain. With tensions escalating between Iran and the U.S., the international community is watching closely to see if diplomacy can be rekindled or if the situation spirals out of control. The fate of the nuclear deal hangs in the balance as both sides dig in on their positions. We're shifting gears now to a dramatic development in Middle Eastern peace efforts, as Donald Trump has unexpectedly canceled key meetings with Iran. Good evening. I'm your name, and this is a special report from our World Desk. In a shocking turn of events, U.S. President Donald Trump has called off the planned trip to Pakistan by his senior advisors, Jared Kushner and Jason Witkoff, which was intended to facilitate peace talks with Iran. According to sources close to the matter, the decision was made just hours before the delegation was set to depart for Islamabad. The talks were aimed at brokering a deal between the U.S. and Iran that would have eased tensions in the region. However, it appears that the negotiations have hit a roadblock, with both sides refusing to compromise on key issues. Kushner, Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor, was set to lead the American delegation to Pakistan, where he was expected to meet with Iranian officials to discuss potential solutions to the conflict in Syria. Witkoff, a businessman and close friend of Kushner, was also part of the delegation. The cancellation of the trip is seen as a significant setback for Trump's efforts to find a peaceful resolution to the Iran crisis. The move is also likely to anger Iranian leaders, who have been seeking a more stable and predictable relationship with the U.S. This development comes at a time when tensions between the U.S. and Iran are running high. Last week, the U.S. launched a drone strike that killed top Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani, which was widely condemned by Iran and its allies. The crisis is still simmering, and it remains to be seen what the next move will be. Thank you for joining us today for this urgent briefing on the escalating Iran war crisis. We'll continue to bring you updates as more information becomes available. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel for real-time coverage of the latest global news. Stay informed and stay vigilant. We'll be here to guide you through the unfolding situation.